Okay, so I don't know if you can hear the rain kind of pouring on the roof. So it's so obviously when it rains up here, you can hear it quite loud, which I quite like actually. I hope it doesn't disturb you too much while we practice. But we're just going to do some gentle practice just to kind of revive your energy after a long day. If you've maybe been rushing around all day, maybe you've been doing lots of physical activity. So it's good just to kind of put a bit of a full stop on that day that you've had. So make sure that you're going to be warm. That's the kind of number one priority in weather like this. So make sure that you'll be warm. Make sure that you can cover yourself if you need to. Oh, sorry, Jeff. So just get yourself ready for a basic relaxation pose. So just bring yourself down onto the floor, bolster underneath your knees, blocks underneath your feet. Don't be in a rush to just settle, because sometimes you have to just make sure that you feel really comfortable before you completely settle. So spend a little time just preparing yourself. The blanket under the head, a bolster under your knees, and some blocks underneath the backs of your shins. Just spend a few moments listening to the sound of the breath. Just enjoy the feeling of release down into the floor. If you can cover your eyes, then do, just for a bit of darkness. Just release into the floor. And take some deep, full inhalations so that you feel your chest lift up and expand. Just hold on to that breath very briefly for a second or two, and then release with the out breath. So several cycles of deep inhalation, just a moment where you suspend that inhalation, holding onto the breath without any grip, and then normal exhalation. And then normal breathing, normal inhalations, normal exhalations. Just spend a little time giving yourself permission to relax. Just committing to being here, allowing yourself to focus on your breath. Because when you focus on your breath, it prevents you from distracting your thoughts to external distractions. So maintain your focus on your breath, just to occupy your mind and to draw your attention inwards. Just releasing into the floor, scanning the body for areas of tension and allowing the body to consciously release those tensions that may occur. Just drawing your attention into your feet, feeling the underside of the foot and allowing the underside of the foot to relax. Observing the upper side of the foot and allowing the top of the foot to relax. Releasing muscular tension completely from the feet. Draw your attention into your legs, into the shins, into the kneecaps, into the thighs. And then relax the shins, allowing the muscles around the shins to let go. Relax the kneecaps and relax your thighs. Relax the knees and relax your thighs. If you struggle to relax, then push your out breath into regions that refuse to relax. Draw your attention to your torso and your arms. And then let the arms release into the floor. Let the shoulders relax. Let the chest relax. Let the abdomen relax. Let the throat relax. Allow the muscles of the neck to relax and the muscles of the face and the back of the skull to completely soften. Allow the muscles of the face to soften, the jaw to soften, nostrils to soften the area around the forehead. Soften your jaw by drawing the lower teeth away from the upper teeth. Soften your tongue. Soften your throat. So as you stay, just observe how you allow the body to become heavy, but at the same time, the body begins to feel lighter. So we use this basic relaxation pose just to quieten and to re-energize. Okay, when you're ready to disturb yourself, just gently wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, and then bend your knees. Bring your feet onto the bolster, have your knees together, just resting your lower back into the floor for a moment or two. And then roll onto your side and then sit yourself up. So just sit yourself in, just cross legs for a moment, just observe how perhaps your energy has changed a little. Perhaps there's a lighter feeling inside. Okay, so we're going to do a simple side stretch. So if you've got two bolsters, then that's good for this. Have a bolster, have your oblong bolster if you've got one, underneath your hip, and then have another bolster for your head. I'm going to show you. So we've done this lots of times before, but this is a slightly different variation. So if you haven't got an oblong bolster, then just get your folded blanket and then just fold it over so that it becomes really, really thick. It doesn't have to be brilliantly folded, as long as it stays in position and it feels pretty even underneath you. So you're just going to come down onto your side, lengthening along this side, and then you're going to bring your head down onto the second bolster. This arm can stay straight, and then you just stretch your arm over your ear and over, and just rest your hand on the bolster. So it's just a little variation of the pose that we often do, which is just with one bolster and a block under your head. Just a different way of doing the same pose, a gentler, kind of quieter pose. So the upper arm rests over your ear. Your arm that stays on the floor, just you can leave it straight. We often just bring that into a bent arm, but straighten that arm, just see how it feels with slight variations. So as you know, as we progress into the sequence, I'll speak less and less so that you're not having to concentrate on what I'm saying. You can just use this time to release and relax. Remember, if you feel cold, then cover yourself over. If you are not comfortable, then just adjust until you are. And then when you're ready, just bring the top arm back onto your upper facing side. Push your elbow that's on the floor into the floor, and then just sit yourself up. Just sitting cross legs for a moment. Just observe that fairly profound change in your energy. Maybe it feels stronger on one side than the other. So we'll just we'll balance that out by just coming onto the other side. So the same thing. So your bolster for your head, just stretching your arm over the side. Lengthen out the side ribs as you come down. Just straighten the arm that's on the floor. Just straighten it out along the floor. And then stretch your arm. Just let it rest over your ear. Resting on the bolster. And then release the top of the arm down onto the side of the body. And then just lift yourself up, just push yourself up into a seated position. And again, just come into cross legs, just observe how your energy is evened out a little. Okay, so for this next pose, it's just a little variation of what we've just done. So I'll show you. So you're going to keep your equipment in the same place, the block bolster for your head, the other bolster from underneath you. And then this time you bend your elbows into a right angle, both arms together, your knees over on one side. And then you're just going to roll the top arm over. So your knees stay where they are. It's just a little spinal twist. If it feels uncomfortable in your shoulder, then put a block for underneath that backhand, underneath that upper arm as you reach over, or you can use the bolster to support the arm. So just it's a good way of opening up the chest. So have both elbows together to start off with. Just come onto your first side. Have your knees bent. Have your head securely on the bolster. And then lift the top arm. Keep the arm bent so you're kind of making the shape of a cactus a little. And then just roll that top arm over. And either let it hang in the air or give it some support with a block or with your bolster. So keeping your head on the bolster. So the lower arm remains in contact with the floor. The upper arm just stretches over. Allow yourself to release. Allow gravity to do its thing. Push your out breath into areas of resistance. So this open spinal twist just brings deep opening into the armpit region, into the collarbone region. So if the pose feels too strong, remember, just support that hovering arm with a lift with a block or a number of blocks. So observe how after a little while you start to overcome resistance. Okay, bring that arm back just to the side, so both arms just sit together for a moment. Just rest on your side. And then push yourself up into a seated position. Just again, observe that intense energy that comes around the chest, around the neck. And again, we even that out by just coming over onto the other side. So the same pose, the same side stretch on the other side. So keeping your knees bent. Just come over onto your side. Have your two elbows just bent into a right angle. Two hands together to start off with. Just resting your head on the bolster. And then leave the hand that's closest to the floor where it is, and then just bring the other arm over to the side. So keep your knees bent, keep them in the position that they were in, and just stretch the upper arm over to the side so the chest is more facing the ceiling. So although this practice requires literally zero energy to hold the pose, the energy that you release as a result of the pose is pretty profound. So just use gravity in this case just to open up the front of the shoulder, the armpit region, shoulder and the neck. So there's a gentle spinal twist. And then when you're ready, just gently bring that upper arm over to meet the arm that's on the floor. Just rest on your side for a moment. And then just sit yourself up, just come up into a cross-legged position, just observe the evenness of the energy. And then just to finish off, let's go back to our basic relaxation pose. So bolster underneath our knees, a blanket for our head. And then you can choose whether or not to have blocks underneath your feet. Maybe you just want to just let your feet just rest down onto the floor directly, rather than having the blocks underneath them. Have the bolster underneath the knees, the blocks, the blanket for underneath your head. Again, just cover yourself over. And then just release into the floor. So there's perhaps a feeling of you've worked deeply in the shoulders and in the neck. There's an opening sensation of the chest. So again, just allow yourself to just give in to the support of the floor. Just let go of the physical body, let go of the muscles of the arms and of the legs, unhooking the muscles of the arms and of the legs. Letting the physical body be completely supported by the floor. And as you stay, perhaps you notice feeling of lightness that rises to the uppermost skin. Use your in-breath and your out-breath to evenly distribute that feeling of lightness throughout the body, down into the tips of the toes, the tips of the fingers, into the top of the head. Using the in-breath and the out-breath to distribute that feeling of lightness. Just basking in that feeling of energetic lightness. That comes from our gentle practice. And then when you're ready to disturb yourself, just gently wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. Just bend your knees, rest your feet on the bolster, knees together. Just feel how the back is supported by the straight line of the floor. And then roll onto your right side and then sit yourself up. Just come back up into cross legs with your hands in the masti. Just a final spinal lift. Draw the breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you released through your practice. The gentle poses that help to release trapped energy and allow it to flow. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to seek to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then just very gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. And as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open. Focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you've really kind of lifted and opened up your energy and you've got lots of good positive energy to put into the rest of your day. So thank you very much for joining.